The human ship Endeavor drifted silently through the black emptiness at the edge of the Andromeda expanse. Stars stretched like distant diamonds across the darkness, and for a moment, the crew felt the rare serenity of space. But serenity was a luxury they could not afford. Every mission beyond known space carried risks, and this one, led by Captain Alara Miles, promised more than just routine exploration. "Sensors picking up something unusual, Captain," Lieutenant Ryo said, his voice calm but tinged with curiosity. On the small bridge, he tapped the console, and a soft holographic display shimmered into view. It showed faint energy readings unlike any they had encountered before. Alara leaned over the console. "Unusual how?" she asked, her eyes narrowed. They had faced anomalies before, strange cosmic phenomena, rogue asteroids, but this was different. The energy pattern seemed deliberate, controlled, as if someone or something was watching. "Not natural, ma'am," Ryo said. "It's organized. Almost alive. Keep monitoring. No sudden moves. We don't want to start a fight we can't finish." It radiated an almost hypnotic light, drawing her in. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Beautiful and dangerous," Alara said from behind her. She stood tall, her presence commanding yet calm. "Remember, Lyra, beauty can hide danger. We're not tourists. This is exploration, not a sightseeing trip." There was something alive about it, she thought, a presence that seemed to watch them back. The quiet was broken by a sudden alarm. The ship's lights pulsed as a soft yet powerful wave of energy passed through the hull. Ryo's hands flew across the controls. "Energy spike coming from the planet," he shouted. "Shield fluctuations are minimal, but it's enough to interfere with systems." A sudden voice echoed in the bridge, though it was not transmitted through any speaker system. It was inside their minds, yet it was not human. Soft but commanding, it carried fury and disbelief. "Why don't you leave me alone, human?" She knew instinctively this was no random interference. It was intelligence, advanced, powerful, and not welcoming. "Captain, it's talking to us," Lyra whispered. Alara's jaw tightened. "Yes, and we need to respond carefully. Do not panic. Ryo, trace the origin." Every reading pointed to the planet below, and more specifically to its crystalline heart. "It's coming from the planet's core, ma'am. I think it's alive, or someone is alive there, definitely conscious. We want to understand. That is our job." The voice returned, stronger now, almost tangible in the air around them. "Humans, how dare you come here?" "Intruders, you mean? You cross boundaries you cannot comprehend. Leave now, or face consequences you cannot survive. Not without understanding what you are and what this place is. We come in peace, but we will not retreat out of fear." The structure reshaped itself, forming towering spires, intricate bridges, and strange glyphs glowing in alien patterns. It was a citadel, alive and purposeful. "Prepare for potential engagement," Alara ordered. "Keep shields up, sensors active, and weapons ready, but do not fire unless fired upon." The voice filled the bridge again, this time more personal, more focused. "You dare approach me? You dare enter my domain? We wish to communicate, to learn, and to understand. We do not wish to fight you." The Queen's power radiated in waves that distorted the very air around her. But despite the danger, Alara sensed something in Velara, curiosity, a spark of interest, perhaps, at the human's audacity. "We will not leave, not yet," Alara said, "but we will show we mean no harm. We will respect your world, and in return we ask only to learn from it. You may survive longer than I expect, but be warned, every choice you make from this point on will be observed. Every action will have consequence." The Queen's voice echoed one last time in their minds as the ship stabilized. "Prepare yourselves, humans. Curiosity is admirable, but it will not protect you from the trials ahead." And we learned. This was not a mission to chart stars or collect samples. This was a confrontation with something greater than any human had faced before, and yet she knew they could rise to it. Humanity had always risen against odds impossible to imagine. And as the alien Queen's voice echoed faintly again, almost a whisper now, "Do not make me regret leaving you alive," Alara smiled slightly. Humans never gave up, and she was certain even here they would endure. The Endeavor was ready. The unknown awaited, and humanity, small but unyielding, would meet it head-on. The Endeavor hovered silently above the alien citadel, its sleek hull reflecting the shimmering light of the crystalline planet. The air inside the ship was tense, every crew member aware that they were standing at the edge of something far beyond their understanding. Captain Alara Miles paced the bridge, her eyes fixed on the glowing form of Queen Velara who stood motionless atop the highest spire of the citadel. "She's still observing us," Ensign Lyra whispered, her voice barely audible. "Yes," Alara replied calmly. "And we need to be careful. One wrong move, and this encounter could end before it even begins. We won't respond with fear, but with composure. That's our advantage, human ingenuity and courage. Why do you defy me? We come in peace, and we promise to respect your boundaries. There is audacity in your kind, audacity I have not seen in centuries. Or it can be foolishness that brings ruin. Tell me, human, why should I allow you to remain in my presence?" Then Velara spoke, her voice like steel tempered by curiosity. "You claim to be valuable. Words are easy. Action is what proves worth. If you wish to remain human, you must demonstrate it. You must show me that your kind is more than audacity and luck." "Some sort of test, I think." The bridge shook as a subtle gravitational pulse washed over the ship. "Prepare the shuttle," Alara ordered. "We're going down." As the shuttle descended, the landscape unfolded like a living puzzle. Crystalline towers grew from the ground like jagged trees of glass. Bridges arched in impossible curves, glowing faintly with energy. Paths twisted and shifted, as if testing every footstep of the intruder. "This place is incredible," Lyra breathed. She gripped the edge of her seat as the shuttle maneuvered through the shifting pathways. "Yes," Alara agreed, her gaze fixed on the path ahead. "And it is dangerous. Every step we take could be a test, every turn a challenge, but we have to move forward. We have no other choice." The doors opened and the humans stepped out, their boots clicking against the smooth surface. The air was alive with a hum, a resonance that seemed to echo their own thoughts. Velara appeared before them, her form towering, shimmering, and impossibly regal. Her eyes glowed with a mix of anger and curiosity. "You enter my domain willingly," she said. "Few species would dare, few would survive. Do you understand the risk you take? Follow the path, survive what lies ahead. Show me that your kind is capable of more than foolish bravery." The humans had to think quickly, adjusting their movements to match the shifting terrain. "This is like a puzzle," Lyra said, eyes wide. "Exactly," Alara replied. "And humans are good at solving puzzles. Stay focused, adapt, and don't panic." At one point, a section of the path tilted sharply, threatening to fling them into the abyss below. Ryo adjusted his stance and grabbed a control panel embedded in the crystal, using it to stabilize the platform long enough for the others to cross. Velara watched silently, her presence immense and imposing. Yet beneath the fury in her eyes, there was a trace of fascination. The humans were not just surviving. They were adapting, thinking, and cooperating in ways she had not anticipated. Hours seemed to pass in minutes as they navigated the labyrinthine surface. They faced shifting bridges, sudden energy pulses, and obstacles that required quick thinking and improvisation. At one point, a towering crystalline wall rose before them, smooth and impenetrable. Alara examined it, her mind racing. There's got to be a way through. Humans always find a way. She noticed faint markings along the edges of the wall, energy channels that pulsed in a pattern. "Ryo, follow the pulses. I think they're a key." Lyra squeezed through, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. Finally, they reached a wide platform at the center of the citadel. The crystalline surface here was smooth and reflective, almost like a mirror. Velara stood at the far end, her eyes glowing with an intensity that made the humans instinctively step back. "You have made it this far," she said. "Few would endure. Many would falter, fail, and be destroyed. Yet you persist. Why? You possess courage, persistence, and ingenuity, traits my species has rarely encountered. You may yet prove useful, human." They had survived the first trial. "You have survived the first challenge," Velara said. "But do not think this proves much. The path ahead is far more difficult. You will face trials that will test your mind, your courage, and your ability to work together. Only then will you show your true worth. We are humans, and we do not back down." They had proven themselves once, but they knew the true challenge had only just begun. As they advanced into the heart of the citadel, the crystalline structures around them seemed to shift, guiding them forward while testing their ingenuity and teamwork at every step. The Queen watched from above, her presence a constant reminder that they were being observed, judged, and measured. For Captain Alara and her crew, there was no turning back. The trials of the Zaltrax had begun, and humanity's courage and adaptability would be tested like never before. And deep within her citadel, Queen Valera's eyes glowed with curiosity and restrained fury. Humans were unpredictable, audacious, and unlike any species she had encountered. For better or worse, their story and her own was only just beginning. The crystalline corridors of Valera's citadel stretched endlessly before the humans, shimmering in colors that seemed almost alive. Each step they took resonated with energy, and the air vibrated faintly, as if the planet itself were aware of their presence. Captain Alara Miles led the crew forward, her eyes scanning the shifting paths for signs of danger or opportunity. "This place, it's changing as we move," Lyra whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "It's like it's alive. That is how we survive. Let's remember that. I think the glowing panels indicate safe paths, but they change constantly. If we step on the wrong one." Several times a panel collapsed, forcing a quick leap or adjustment. "Stay together," Alara instructed. "Communicate." When they reached the other side, a section of the floor rose to form a staircase leading to the next trial. Valera's voice entered their minds again, calmer now, tinged with curiosity. "Not bad, human. You have observed, adapted, and endured. Few would succeed in this first test, but this is only the beginning. That is what humans do. I'm not sure what it does, but the energy readings are immense." Lyra stepped forward tentatively. "Captain, maybe it reacts to patterns. Humans are good at recognizing patterns. Maybe that's the key." Slowly, the tower began to hum differently, the pulsating energy synchronizing with their actions. Valera's voice filled the chamber, now stronger, more intense. "Clever humans, you learn, you adapt, and you manipulate what others fear. Few species could achieve this, yet do not think this guarantees your survival. We rely on skill, observation, and teamwork." A vast arena opened before them, the walls lined with towering crystalline spires that pulsed with dangerous energy. The floor was a maze of moving platforms, rising and falling unpredictably. They could see small drones, shaped like shards of crystal, patrolling the arena. Contact with the drones meant instant expulsion from the trial. Alara's eyes narrowed. "This is as much about agility and coordination as it is about observation. Move carefully but keep alert. Every step counts." Alara led, guiding and encouraging, ensuring the group moved as one unit. They were halfway through when a platform suddenly tilted sharply. Lyra nearly fell, but Ryo grabbed her arm just in time, pulling her to safety. "Thanks," she gasped, regaining her balance. Alara glanced back. "Good reaction. That's human ingenuity, using what you have in the moment to overcome danger." Valera's voice reverberated once more. "You endure challenges designed to test not only body and mind, but spirit. Few have ever reached this point. You are remarkable, human, yet the greatest trials are still ahead. Every challenge is another opportunity to prove it. We need to activate them in the correct sequence. If we do it wrong, the floor could collapse, or worse." "Here," she called softly. "The pattern repeats every 6 pulses. We can use that to time our activation." Finally, the last node activated with a bright flash of light. The floor stabilized, revealing a crystalline staircase leading upward. The humans climbed it, exhausted but determined. At the top, Valera awaited, her presence immense and commanding. She regarded them with eyes that glowed brighter than before, a mix of fury, admiration, and restrained curiosity. "You have survived trials that were designed to break lesser species," she said. "You have adapted to puzzles, machines, arenas, and coordination challenges. You endure when others would fail. Few humans could have reached this point, yet you do. That is our nature, and we will survive because that is what humans do." Valera's voice, softer now but still filled with authority, echoed in their minds. "Survival is not given, it is earned. Humans, you may have earned the right to continue, but beware, the greatest test of all is yet to come. Your ingenuity will be tested, your courage pushed to its limits, and your very essence challenged. Do not falter." And humanity, small and unyielding, would continue to rise, proving their worth in a galaxy that underestimated them. The air of the citadel seemed heavier than before, charged with a subtle energy that made every movement deliberate. Captain Alara Miles and her crew moved carefully, their steps echoing faintly on the crystalline floor. Each chamber they entered was more challenging than the last, but the humans had grown accustomed to the shifting paths, the unexpected obstacles, and the unpredictable nature of Queen Valera's trials. "This place keeps changing," Lyra whispered, her eyes scanning the walls. It's like the Citadel is alive, testing us constantly. And that's exactly what we need to pay attention to. Observe first, act second. Humans survive by understanding and adapting. Then we need to be unpredictable as well. We adapt, but we also innovate. That is how humans succeed. The room was a maze of energy, and moving through it without triggering a response required precision and careful planning. This is like a test of timing and observation, Ryo said, examining the sensors. If we misstep, the energy could knock us off balance, or worse. We watch each other, communicate constantly, and adjust to the rhythm of the room. That's the only way to succeed. When one pillar pulsed unexpectedly, Lyra instinctively warned the others, preventing a misstep that could have ended their progress. Valera's voice entered their minds, calm but with a hint of intrigue. You move with awareness and caution, human. Few would notice the subtleties of this chamber, yet observation alone is not enough. You must anticipate, predict, and act without hesitation. It's alive, Lyra whispered, or at least aware of us. On my signal, you coordinate, observe, and manipulate what others would fear. Yet this is only a fraction of what you must endure. Greater challenges await, ones that will test not only your intelligence but your very spirit. We overcome. The platforms are unstable, and if we miscalculate, we could fall into the abyss below. Every movement required attention, trust, and precise coordination. Lyra noticed patterns in the shifting platforms, predicting which would rise and which would tilt, guiding the others across safely. Halfway through, a sudden energy pulse rocked the platform, forcing them to leap simultaneously to avoid falling. Ryo grabbed Lyra's arm, pulling her to safety just as a section collapsed behind them. Good reflexes, Alara said, her eyes never leaving the path ahead. That's what humans do, think fast and act faster. The humans stepped onto it cautiously, feeling the energy beneath their feet hum with awareness. Valera's voice filled the air around them, now tinged with both frustration and fascination. Humans endure, adapt, and survive. Few species would dare this path, and fewer still would succeed. Yet you move forward undeterred, and that is remarkable. That is who we are. We survive, we learn, and we never give up. Yet the ultimate test is not of body or mind alone. It is of spirit, of unity, and of trust. You will see what I mean shortly. Within the chamber floated multiple spheres of pulsating light, each projecting holographic images of distant worlds, unknown civilizations, and strange phenomena. These are simulations, Ryo said, awestruck. We need to interact with them carefully. One wrong move. That is our advantage. Lyra noticed patterns, Ryo calculated precise movements, and Alara guided the team with calm authority. Together, they solved the complex interactions, aligning the spheres to create a resonance that stabilized the chamber. Valera's voice filled the chamber again, tinged with surprise and a hint of admiration. You think quickly, coordinate seamlessly, and persevere through trials that would break most. Few humans could achieve what you have. Yet do not believe this proves your ultimate worth. Greater trials lie ahead, and the consequences of failure are far more serious. We rely on our skills, our teamwork, and our courage. That is what humans do. That is why we survive. It is about proving your worth to me, to the expanse, and to yourselves. Only then will you earn true recognition. Beyond it, they could see glimpses of massive structures, glowing energy channels, and machinery that defied comprehension. The next phase of Valera's trials awaited, testing not just their intelligence and agility, but their courage, strategy, and ability to face the unknown together. Every step forward reinforced the humans' understanding of their strength, not in raw power, but in ingenuity, teamwork, and the unyielding will to survive. The Queen observed silently, her fury mixed with fascination as the humans pressed on, determined to prove that humanity's courage and resourcefulness could withstand even the most formidable challenges. Alara knew that the greatest tests were still ahead, yet she also knew that humanity had never relied solely on chance. They survived through skill, adaptability, and the refusal to give up. And in this alien citadel, facing an entity as powerful and unpredictable as Queen Valera, those qualities would be their greatest weapon. The humans advanced, every step a testament to their resilience, every action a demonstration of ingenuity. And deep within her crystalline chamber, Valera's eyes followed them, a mixture of frustration and begrudging respect growing with each passing moment. For Captain Alara and her crew, the trials were far from over. Yet they moved forward with unwavering determination, knowing that humanity's strength lay not in technology alone, but in courage, creativity, and the unbreakable spirit that had carried them through countless impossible odds. And in the heart of the Zaltrax citadel, the first seeds of mutual respect between human and alien queen began to take root, even as the ultimate trials loomed ahead, promising challenges that would test every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of human ingenuity. The chamber at the heart of Velara's citadel was vast beyond imagination. Crystalline spires stretched upward, glowing with energy that pulsed like a living heartbeat. The floor was a mosaic of shifting light and color, each step revealing new patterns that seemed to test both mind and body. Captain Alara Miles led her crew forward, aware that this was the final stage of the Queen's trials and the greatest challenge yet. "We've come this far," Lyra said, her voice steady but tinged with awe. "Everything else felt impossible, but we adapted. We can do this too." "Humans endure because we face the impossible," Alara said. "We survive because we adapt, we think, and we never give up. That is what we are." It's as if it's alive or aware of our intentions. A single mistake could trap them, or worse. "This is the ultimate test of strategy and observation," Ryo said. "We need to move as one, anticipate every shift, and adapt instantly." She relayed this information quickly to Alara, who adjusted their path with precision. Every step required attention, teamwork, and the ability to predict the chamber's movements. Suddenly, the floor beneath them shifted violently. A gap opened, and one of the crystalline pillars tilted dangerously. Lyra stumbled, but Alara caught her arm, steadying her. "Good reflexes," Alara said. "That's human ingenuity, reacting instantly and helping each other. Humans always find a way." 3, 2, 1. On the platform, Queen Velera stood, her form immense, glowing with power. She regarded the humans with eyes that seemed to pierce through their very beings. "You have endured every challenge I have set before you," she said. "You have demonstrated intelligence, agility, courage, and cooperation, yet this final test is the most difficult. It is not of body nor mind alone. It is of spirit, trust, and ingenuity combined. Succeed, and you will have proven yourselves worthy." The humans realized that no single path would suffice. They would need to move in perfect coordination, timing each step precisely to survive. "This is it," Lyra whispered. "The ultimate test. That is what humans do best." Halfway across, a surge of energy threatened to push them off balance. Lyra lost her footing, but Ryo grabbed her hand just in time, pulling her to safety. Alara held the others steady, guiding them through the most dangerous sections. Their teamwork, observation, and quick thinking allowed them to navigate the treacherous platform successfully. Finally, they reached the far end, standing before Queen Velera. The energy of the platform pulsed around them, a subtle acknowledgement of their success. Velera's eyes glowed brighter, her expression shifting from fury to admiration. "You have succeeded where most would fail," she said. "You have demonstrated intelligence, adaptability, courage, and unity. Humans, you have earned my respect. Few can demonstrate such resilience, ingenuity, and cooperation. You are remarkable. I underestimated you. Humans, your journey through my trials is complete. You have survived, adapted, and demonstrated qualities that are rare even among advanced species. You leave here not as intruders, but as worthy beings in the galaxy." Every pulse seemed to acknowledge their presence, as if the Citadel itself recognized their achievement. "Captain," Ryo said quietly, "we actually did it. We completed the trials. And we learned something more important than any trial could teach. That humanity's greatest strength is our ability to face the unknown together and emerge stronger. Do not forget what you have learned here." They had faced an alien queen's trials, survived against extraordinary challenges, and emerged with their courage and ingenuity intact. Lyra exhaled, smiling. "I can't believe we made it. Every step was more impossible than the last, but we did it. We actually did it. That is why we survive, even when the odds are impossible." But more importantly, she now knows what humanity is capable of, and that knowledge will shape the galaxy in ways we cannot yet imagine. They had survived trials designed to challenge everything about them, mind, body, and spirit, and they had done so with courage, ingenuity, and unity. In the quiet of space, Alara addressed her crew. "We have faced what most species could not, and we have succeeded. Remember this, humanity's greatest strength is not just our technology, not just our strength, but our ability to think, to adapt, and to persevere. That is why we endure. That is why we survive. And they would continue to face the unknown with courage and ingenuity, leaving their mark wherever they went. As the stars stretched out before them, Captain Alara allowed herself a rare smile. The trials were over, but the journey of humanity in the expanse had only just begun. And somewhere far below in the citadel, Queen Villara watched silently, a mixture of respect and cautious curiosity in her gaze. Humanity had proven itself worthy, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. For Captain Alara, her crew, and all of humanity, the message was clear. No matter the odds, no matter the challenge, they would endure, adapt, and survive. And that was a truth no being in the galaxy could ignore.